Imagine a world where HIV can actually be stopped by one having to take 2 shots of injection twice a year. Now, in Uganda, where we register a whopping 54,000 new HIV infections yearly, this could actually be a game changer. You understand? Now, lenacapavir, through 2 phases of tests, has actually shown 100% possibilities of preventing HIV. This is a new drug that is being introduced into the market. And I believe you me, if successfully brought into the market of Uganda and administered into the populations of people living with HIV could actually be out the window in the near future. Now, the background of this story that I'm going to be sharing with you comes off a global fund injecting about more than $1 million into the acquisition of about 17,000 doses of this drug that will be administered among Ugandans. As I speak right now, the Ministry of Health and Uganda AIDS Commission actually in preparations of how to see how best this drug could be rolled out in the populace. That is by training doctors on how to administer this drug properly to people, but most importantly also on determining who is eligible enough or who will be able to benefit fully from this drug. Because I mean, if you are registering 54,000 new infections yearly, 17,000 doses are actually not enough. Well, join me on this beautiful episode of Endobot Updates. My name is Francis Emokole as we dive deep into what lenacapavir is really, or how well it's unique from just a normal pills that people living with HIV to be taking. Now, welcome aboard and let's get it. Let's explore how it works, why it matters, and what's next. So, what makes lenacapavir special? Unlike daily HIV prevention pills, which can be hard to take because of stigma sometimes or busy schedules, lenacapavir is a shot you get just twice a year. It works by blocking out HIV out of your body. Think of it as a shield that stops the virus from copying itself, because the power that HIV relies on is on its ability to multiply itself into various cells to weaken the immune system of the body, and then at the end of the day take you out of it. Now, this makes it easier for people, especially young women living with HIV, to be protected. All right. Now, there's proof, there's results, as I stated earlier on. In a big study called Purpose 1, over 5,300 women in Uganda and South Africa got lenacapavir, and the results were extremely amazing. Let me tell you, among the 2,134 women who got the shot, results came out that 100% success of HIV prevention was registered amongst these women, compared to the daily pills where some people actually get infected because sticking to them is tough due to lack of consistency, a fear of stigma, but also the demand that you have to keep swallowing these tablets. There are people that actually have a phobia for tablets, and sometimes because of that phobia they just end up giving up, and just like that they die. And another study called Purpose 2 showed that 96% protection across different groups. So clearly, there's quite some hope, Now, let's ask ourselves, why is this a big deal for Uganda? Let me give you some numbers. HIV affects about 5.1% of population, and 30% of new cases are among young women. Now, daily pills can be hard to hide or remember sometimes, especially in rural areas. Lenacapavir's 2 shots a year are discreet and easy. Plus, it showed no infections in pregnant women, which could help stop HIV passing to babies. The drug could change lives, which could stop HIV being passed on to babies, which I think could be actually a great game changer. Now, so how is Uganda making this happen? That's the big question. As earlier on stated, Uganda AIDS Commission and Ministry of Health are working hard, getting regulatory approvals, updating guidelines, and training health workers to give these shots. Because if you're looking at 54,000 new infections and then you have 17,000 doses, this could actually be a problem. In my opinion, I think lenacapavir will actually be a turning point in Uganda. But I'm curious mostly to know who is going to receive this dose and why are they receiving this dose? Because are they going to be mostly given to people that are in dire need of it, or to people that have actually been onto treatment for quite a bit of time, just to to put them on a higher chance of survival, or are they going to be giving these doses to people that based on who first come first serve or what? I don't really know. And also, why 17,000 doses? Why 17 and not 54,000 or a million doses? Of course, the cost effect is there, the cost reason is there, but why 17,000? But also, I also want to think that despite the fact that the second purpose 2 test, despite the fact that the first purpose 1 test showed 100% prevention of HIV, and then the second one showed 96%. What happens to the 4%? I don't know about that. Now, from the results, from what I read here, it showed that 5,300 people were actually tested and 100% result and 100% efficacy was achieved. What happened to the balance? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I don't know. What happened to the rest of the people that were actually, is that what catered for the purpose 2? Check. And why did it come to 96%? There's lots of questions for me.